Hey guys, I'm Jeremy, one of your very favorite people with Parkinson's, joined by Michele from Slow Dancing with Parkinson's. How you doing, Michele?
Good. How are you? Thank you for
Good.
having me.
No problem. We'll have to see if this works. This is kind of a first one-off here. We're trying to see if we can pull this off. It's kind of I'm going to call it not just Parkinson's because I feel like sometimes on these channels we're helping people, but sometimes I feel like we need to have a little stretch and do things that just don't involve Parkinson's, although we will talk about Parkinson's.
I love it. Sounds good.
How long ago were you diagnosed, Michele?
I got the official diagnosis last February, so I'm coming up on a year now. I would say the symptoms were kicking in 2018 is when I really started having issues. So yeah, it's been a little while.
I'm on my 10-year anniversary right now. My symptoms went back a long way. In fact, I was a completely dysfunctional person by the time I was diagnosed. I'd been struggling for a long time. But we got some questions here, and how about we're going to do three. Why don't you want to ask your questions one, and then I'll ask one, kind of like tit for tat?
Yeah, we could do that. That sounds good.
All right, well, let me drop the first one on you here, okay?
Okay,
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, question one. This is my only Parkinson's question. Parkinson's changes us in more ways than just physically. It changes our perspective on life. What is one way that PD has changed the way you view the world? Go.
Okay, so I don't know that it's so much changed the way I view the world. I remember a while back, I remember thinking, man, I'm really blessed that I don't have any major diseases or cancer or something like that. And then I would say a year later, I got the diagnosis of Parkinson's. I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll have to make do with this. I kind of just feel like there's a purpose for everything. And so, when I got the diagnosis, it sucked. I went through the depression phase and all that. I've actually evolved quite a bit. I've, been up and down, and now I'm kind of leveled out where I'm like, okay, this is what I have. It's not the end of the world. I'm still in the early phase, so I can still function pretty normally. I'm still working full time. So I don't know, maybe if you ask me this 10 years down the road, maybe my answer would be a little different, but right now I'm just, taking it a day at a time. And I just feel like I want to do my best to help people. So I kind of like this community, this Parkinson's community I've gotten involved with, like you and Jen and some other people, and just kind of getting the word out, because I think that was the most frustrating thing was that like not everybody is familiar with the symptoms. I would see people now when I see people out in the street that are kind of hunched, shuffling, I'm like, oh, okay, they have Parkinson's. And when before I was just like, I don't know, I don't know what's going on with them. But so I'm a little smarter on that now, and just trying to take a day at a time. I'm still trying to enjoy life. I'm teaching myself how to play the piano. I'm going zip lining, and I'm collecting albums now, and then I shoot competitively. So I just try to make the best of everything. That's where I'm at.
Good answer. I can't nitpick anything you said. Not that we're here to do that, but you've got a great perspective. I like that you are in the community. It's nice to, as a veteran, I guess, it's nice to have some new blood, even though we don't like the circumstance of why you are here, but you are here and you're among friends. So that's rock and roll, and I'm glad you're collecting records. I love that. I'm a big vinyl fan as well, as you know.
It's fun. Oh my God, it's becoming addicting.
It is you start Jones, and you get excited when you going through the record bin and you find one in the back. You're like, ooh, I found Dark Side of the Moon or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, now it's your turn to ask me a question.
All right. So since you started with the Parkinson's question, I'll do the same. All right. So if you were a single parent, no wife in the picture at this point in your life, how different would your life be? I'm curious to know how you would get through the day to day. Would you need family members or come around and help you? Would you need to hire help? I'm just kind of curious that, how different your life would be.
First of all, I cannot imagine life without my wife. I would need somebody to go. Well, let's just start off. I would need to have my groceries brought to me. Now, I can do that with DoorDash, or not DoorDash, but Instacart. I can do that. But that would be the first thing I would have to worry about. The second thing, I have a 10-year-old son, so I don't know how I would do it with a 10-year-old son. He's got He's slightly autistic and he's got ADHD, so it would be really, really a struggle for me. I would need people to come over and help me. I probably would be online trying to find like a woman who would come in and take care of me. It sounds jacked up, but or just anybody. It's unimaginable to me to think that. Now, I'm sure I would adjust. I think it's just like anything. Like you find your way. But I definitely need help. I could not go get medication by myself all the time. I certainly couldn't grocery shop. I can't drive all the time. Yeah, and the doctor's appointments, it would be a nightmare. Long answer, or short answer, long. Yeah, it would be rough.
Okay.
All right, you ready? You ready for my question?
Yes.
Okay, we're done with the Parkinson's questions right now.
All right. Get some good stuff.
Question 2. If you could go back in time to any year and witness one moment in history, what would it be?
Okay, so I would go way, way back.
Okay.
And I would go to the Last Supper. I'd hang out with Jesus and his peeps, his crew. And, as he's talking about, like, there's a traitor in our midst, I'd be like...
Good call.
I just think that'd be kind of cool. Maybe I'd be in the painting too.
Yeah.
I'd be like high-fiving Jesus, like, hey.
You'd be the dark, mysterious brunette in the background.
Yeah.
Now here's a question. Do you think it would change history, wouldn't it?
Not really, because, technically Jesus already knew it was Judas, but,
That's true.
I'd like to I'd add just a little humor to it, like.
Yeah, because I don't know if anybody else at the table knew other than Jesus.
I don't think so.
Yeah, because I would imagine if they knew, they probably would have ratted that dude out.
Yeah, they're like, man, get the hell out of here.
And the name Judas, nobody names their kid Judas. It's kind of like, it's like a pariah name. Nobody wants to be known as Judas.
Yeah, exactly. So true.
Good pick. I didn't even think of that one. Awesome.
Thanks. All right. Let's get to your question. All right. Since you have such a love for music, what is a song that triggers an important memory in your life, and what is that memory?
Can I pick 2?
Sure.
Okay, first of all, there's a song by a British group called Oasis, who's known for Wonderwall, but they've got a song called Don't Look Back in Anger. And I love that title because it reminds me of a rough period of my life where I had some things to be angry about. I had some issues that had happened in my personal life, and I was angry. And as you know, anger is never good to keep close. You need to kind of find a way to flush that out. So Don't Look Back in Anger I just love the title. And actually the song really isn't about, it sounds like it's a relationship song. But I just love the vibe of don't look back in anger. Don't spend your life being angry because you're going to waste valuable time. That's number 1. Number 2 is classic song, Frank Sinatra, The Summer Wind. And the memory it triggers for me is on my walks. My walks through the gravel paths that I walk in the morning when I'm feeling good through the woods. And that song, it's on my walk mix. When that song comes on, I'm instantly transported somewhere else. And even when I hear it, just in my day-to-day life, I'm instantly transported back to walking by these lakes. I love that song. It's one of my. Let's just put it this way: if I had only one song that I could listen to for the rest of my life, it would probably be "The Summer Wind" by Frank Sinatra.
That's awesome. I'll have to put that on my playlist. But that is interesting how songs can just take you somewhere else.
I just love the organs and the string arrangement. I just love that song. So, yeah, I kind of cheated with 2, but there you go.
All right. No, sounds good to me.
Ready for yours?
I'm ready.
I love this question. If you could spend the night with one TV family, who would you choose? This is a softball question. I think everybody's got a TV family they would like to spend the night with.
Okay, mine might be a little off the wall. So, did you ever watch a show called The Medium?
No, but explain it to me.
Okay, so Patricia Arquette was in it, and she's like a psychic, and like she ends up helping like the police department solve crimes, and like she talks to dead people and all that stuff. Her kids kind of picked up the same thing. So I was like completely obsessed with this show. Like obsessed. It was like I looked forward to it every Thursday. It just was the highlight of my week. And then like one day, I'm gonna go back a little bit, just tell you this story because it's a little comical. So one day
Take your time.
I'm watching the episode and I'm like, wait, why? And this here's a spoiler if anybody plans on watching this, but I'm like, wait, why did he die? Like why is this happening? Like why like this is stuff you can't come back from. Like I was very confused on that episode. I'm like, is she dreaming? And then I went and looked at the description for the show, and it was like the series finale. I was like crushed. I was not expecting this. And so my husband at the time, he was in the room with me, and I was just like I felt tears getting ready to come on. So I got up and I went to the bathroom. I'm like, like, oh my God, this my family. Like I've been watching this for like 7 years. Like I was not prepared for this. So I went back to the room and I just laid down like face the other way and I'm like sniffling. And he's like, "Are you crying?" I was like, "Yes." I'm like, I love this show. But anyway, so I think it would be kind of cool to be in that family because I'd be like psychic too, and I'd be like helping solve crimes and talking to dead people too, and yeah.
I remember when that show came on. I do remember. I never watched it, but I do remember it. It was like it wasn't on Fox or something.
Oh, I don't know. I don't remember.
Okay. I do remember that show though. I never watched it. Good pick. That was a deep cut, as they say in the music biz.
Yeah.
All right, you got one more question for me, Michele.
Okay, my last question for you. Okay, growing up, what was your dream job? Like, was there something else you really wanted to do, but for whatever reason it wasn't achievable?
This is easy. That you've just set it up on the tee for me. When I was a teenager, wanted to be a professional skateboarder. I skateboarded every day, any flat or like concave surface, I was on it. I broke boards. I had to duct tape my shoes together because I was a poor kid. But I always dreamed of being a skateboarder. But I mean, as you know, maybe you don't know, St. Louis, Missouri is not the hub for skateboarding. So my only way to be a skateboarder would have been to move to California, which I did not have the money, time, or age to do. And here's the thing, skateboarders, this is when skateboarders didn't make any money. Now Tony Hawk and all these guys got their own shoe line and all this stuff. I was willing to be a dirt living, couch sleeping bum to be a professional skateboarder. My second choice was rock star, but skateboarding was my first love. I started skateboarding when I was about 12 and just fell in love with it. Obviously, with Parkinson's, it's really limited, if not completely stopped my ability to skateboard. But yeah, that's easy. Professional skateboarder extraordinaire, J Mac. I got to meet Tony Hawk.
Ooh.
Yeah, this was before this was before like the huge video game rush. I guess this was right when the video games started coming out. And I was at a little spot. It was actually a hockey rink, an outdoor hockey rink that was like concrete for like rollerblading. And this dude, he drove across the country to come to the crappiest skate spot imaginable. There was like one jacked up ramp. And he was nice enough to just sit on the side. I mean, there wasn't really much to skate, but he sat on the side and just talked to people. And I was able to come up and get his autograph. I should post that on Instagram. I got his autograph on a little card. Yeah. Well, thanks for sitting in. Thanks for sitting in, Michele. I would like to hope that this goes well and we can have other people on. Maybe have you on again. People that know me know I've been podcasting for a long time. I love talking to people, and this has been a lot of fun. And I will send you the video as well, so it'll be available on your channel.
Sounds good to me.
All right, Michele, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. This was a lot of fun.